Happy Monday. Welcome to Michigan Brews episode 80. This is going to be our Homebrew Con kind of recap episode or post game episode, or I don't really know what we're calling it. But we're going to have people sort of popping in and out all night, apparently. Right now, it's myself, Brian. We got Joe, who was on our. Not what's the name of the episode? Not the Gang Brew, the Big Brew Day episode. A couple episodes back, and Brandon, who is a regular guest here with us. And yeah, we'll see who pops in later on in the night. Jason, Jordan, potentially, along with other people. But how are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
We all recovered and rested up and stuff.
Yeah, good, recovered, enjoying more beer.
Yeah, I know, right? Yesterday was like the one day in between drinking beer all weekend and stuff, and it was a long ride home for all of us, and here we are again. We're committed in some fashion, I guess, for better or for worse. What are you guys drinking tonight? We got Joe.
We got Edelweiss from Seeds. I think I was talking to you about that. So
yeah.
We're going to want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think one of our buddies, Tim Wicklund, was talking about Seeds a little bit ago too, maybe. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things lately.
Cool spot. It's a very cool spot too. Their brewery is just separate brewery, separate brew space, like a barn brewery, and then out front they have their little brewery set up inside, tap room, beer garden in between.
Sounds nice. I could definitely go for being outside and having a nice, delicious, clean, crisp beer or something right now. What do they specialize in?
Pretty much all. It's a big, huge chunk of German lagers, Czechs. I mean, when I was there, they had one IPA on tap. All the rest were German lagers, Czechs, Kolsch.
That's exactly what I want inside my mouth right now.
Yeah. That sounds pretty refreshing.
I know. Here, I'm drinking like the exact opposite. I went downstairs, and the only thing I have is like I have an Oktoberfest that is a little sweet, and then in New England, and they both need to be finished so I can keg more stuff. So here we are drinking New England, I guess. What do you got, Brandon? Homebrew?
Yeah, homebrew. A beer. I'll call it that because it's got a little bit of French saison yeast with some USO5 to try to tone it down, which toned down the yeast character a bit too much. And then also did like the double. I was just pulling up to look exactly what all's in it, but was it Sean from Hawaii's Big Kahuna Puna Punch mix, which is some vanilla, rose hips, pomegranate, barrels, elderberries, hibiscus, and lavender. And it's like his double pack that he recommends for mead.
Okay.
I probably needed a quadruple pack for beer.
This is Sean Daniel Harris, I believe, right?
Daryl. Yeah.
Sean yeah.
Yes. Yep.
For anybody out there that wants to make mead and get some really awesome honey for a really great price, find Sean. Any one of his posts on like the Modern Mead Makers Facebook group. He ships 20 pounds of honey, Hawaiian honey. He has a whole bunch of different varietals out for $90 or 10 pounds for $50. That's including shipping, and the honey is absolutely delicious. I think I have some of his coconut blossom downstairs. I've made a Lehua blossom with it. I have some tangerine blossom still. He has a bunch of other fun stuff. I think he does like macadamia nut blossom. All sorts of cool stuff. We got comments already saying hi. So, hey, Ryan. Hi. Oh, we got the whole family in here tonight, right? Okay. And then, hey, what's going on? 77 Trans Am guy. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, we were at NHC. We gave away a bunch of stickers. Everybody that's on right now, at least, was at NHC Live and Homebrew Con. So, yeah, it was a great time. Were you there? Did we miss you? Yeah, we did well at NHC this year. We'll yeah, thanks, Keith. We'll come back to that at some point. I don't know, unless you guys want to talk about it now. Fucking Joe took a gold this year.
Hell yeah!
So, man, like,
congrats again, man.
You are going to be a published recipe guy in Zimmergy Magazine this year.
Yeah, it's wild.
You're there for life.
Yeah. There's going to be people Googling gold medal recipes and finding yours and brewing it, and then beating you, because that's just the way the world works now.
Yep.
No. We're the brew tubers.
When you talk about your award, I'll talk about something kind of funny that I don't think anybody really saw. Maybe somebody saw it, but
you'll tell me about it. And 77 Trans Am, you have to tell me what the brew tubers are. I must have missed that. So I'm not this whole culture is sort of like new to us a little bit. We've been just doing live streams for a while, but like Matt Ushman stuff like that is our sort of our first intro into like this whole like brew tube thing and that people are doing. So Ashley, what did you win with? I'm sorry, Ashley says, what did you win with, Joe?
Belgian Golden Strong.
Hell yeah. And that was against pretty much all the other Belgian, the strong Belgian beer category is what it was, right? So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. You don't have any of that left, do you?
I have some going into comp.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Oh shit.
Is that the Michigan Beer Cup?
Yep.
And the State Fair?
Yes.
Excellent.
I had like a quarter of a keg left, and obviously when you drink your own beer for quite a while, you kind of get sick of it. And I was like, you know what? It's like a 2 beer and done kind of drink, so I couldn't drink anymore. I brewed it so many times that it was just like, all right, enough.
Well, if you are in Michigan and you are entering the State Fair or the Michigan Beer Cup, you now know what category not to enter. If you
I mean, unless you're going to sell for silver.
Yeah, sure.
You never know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look, I was just pulling up the entries. There were 124 other entries that you were judged with, Joe, and that's the second most entered category. That makes it even that much more impressive.
Yeah, that's insanely awesome.
Yeah. Holy cow! Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had imposter syndrome there for a minute. It wasn't really me.
Excuse me.
I know. I like it when I actually feel confident enough to enter Homebrew Con again, or NHC again. Like my first time was what got turned into hand sanitizer, and then but I've either choked at the last minute the last 2 years. So it's like. Oh man, I'm like that, but I just think of the first time I entered a competition and got a medal, and I was ecstatic. So I like getting NHC is like way above that, you know. So yeah,
it's wild.
Okay,
it's wild.
Yeah, the new format, all being judged at the same time, was it's wild. I think I read that they had 85 judges this year that judged 2,200 something entries, I think. Like, you know, over the course of 2 days, just I think some of them were doing like 50 beers a day, like just craziness.
Yeah,
I did hear that some of the feedback. I don't know how it's going to go. I think they were encouraging sheets to try to be filled out within like 5 minutes or so, but they're also doing the. I can't remember what the sheets are called. I call them like the fast and loose sheets. I don't know, but they're not as much room for detailed feedback. I think there's a lot of like empty boxes and stuff like that where you can just kind of scribble notes in and stuff. But hopefully the feedback is better than last year. But even then, yeah, I'm excited to see the sheets.
I think it's good. So there's not a lot of crosstalk. So there's not a lot of influence from other judges on the judge across from you. So
yeah,
like bam.
That's a great point. Yeah, I wonder if there's and I don't even know if there are scores this year. I don't think that there were last year, which kind of meant that there weren't consensus scores either. There was like basically a first round. This is the way that I understand it. There was a first round, and if your beer made it past the first round, and like both judges agreed it needed to go forward, and from there on out, it was sort of just like a beauty pageant. Like what is just a tasty ass beer, and the tastier and tastier and tastier beers advance to the the further tables, and eventually the tastiest or maybe most accurate beer, ended up winning out and stuff. So I'm assuming that's how it went this year. Joe, your beer was pretty damn tasty. So
Thank you.
oh, Matt's why, but okay, sweet. Yeah, we love Matt. Like for some reason we end up mentioning him on like every episode. I don't know why, but like he's just a very, very nice dude. So yeah, we got to meet him at Big Brew Day too and hang out with him. So he helped brew the Oktoberfest that's sitting in McKeezer right now. Greg's asking who you had to mug to get your hat, Joe.
I actually did almost have. I did have to mug somebody almost to get the hat.
What happened? Let's hear the story.
Well, Greg had a hat that was kind of ruined, and he took a picture of it, and he came up. He's like, "Check out this picture," and they gave him a hat right away. I'm like, "I want a hat." Like, no, we're done giving them out. You got to spin the wheel. So I came back the next day. The wheel was done.
Yeah.
So I just kind of ragged them the whole time, and then came back. Where's my hat at? They reluctantly gave me the hat.
Oh, no way. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they had more. That's sweet.
I'm glad that worked. Yeah.
I was talking to people that went through the Yakima Valley hops line like 16 times. Like somebody came back with like 8 pounds of hops or something like that.
Wow.
I know. I'm sure some of it, like they had a big bale of like loose leaf hops. I'm sure some of it was like the loose leaf and some of it was like the experimental stuff that they're handing out, like little 1 ounce packs. But yeah, I I did NHC or I did Homebrew Con wrong this year.
Yeah, we could have got more hops, I think, but I think we each settled with 8 ounces and then maybe a few of the smaller packets, but like the 1 ounce ones, but 1 or 2s. Yeah.
I think I was telling you out there, I'm pretty sure I have like 30 or 40 pounds of hops in my freezer right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to use those. And I'm not brewing as many New England IPAs these days, so I'm not using as many hops at a time anymore. And it's tough, if all you're brewing is stuff that require like Saz and EKG or something like that. Like it takes a while to go through like a pound of it usually.
I'm in the same boat.
Yakima gave out 1,500 pounds of hops on day one. That's insane. That's so ridiculous.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh my god.
Right before we had left, I went out. I have all my hops in my garage freezer. So it's just like a standard old school garage or refrigerator with a fridge and a freezer, and it's pretty much jam packed. But it's worked well for almost 5 years now. And I came out there and saw the freezer door was cracked. Opened it up and like it's just pissing water all over because it was on like one of the 90-degree days. And so the seal just decided it no longer was going to hold. So I got it bungee strapped now, but I was like, I have no idea how long it was open for. It's just like all my other Yakima Valley cans, like you can see the ink from the labels is all running from the water that came down. So I'm like, man, I hope it stayed cold enough just from running with it cracked. Otherwise, I'm going to be dumping a bunch of hops and wishing I had been one of those people that went through the Yakima Valley line 8 times.
I think it'll be fine. I mean, they're not all going to go that bad that quick or anything like that.
I know. I'm just being
extra.
You're
being extra.
Old ale in your future.
Yeah.
God, they brought a ton of hops. Literally, that's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So I know we've been talking about Homebrew Con and stuff, but I don't know. So we have like 17 people watching right now, and maybe not everybody understands what Homebrew Con is. Really, this was this all of our first Homebrew Cons? I think the three of us, Joe, Brandon. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I went knowing as much as anybody else, I guess, that's never been before knows. There's going to be seminars, there's going to be some events at night, and the NHC award ceremony is going to be there. But I guess maybe to like break it down for people that want to go next year, it's going to be in San Diego next year, by the way. I believe June 22nd through the 24th. If I get those dates wrong, don't blame me. I'm sorry. I can look in a sec. But, hey, Jordan, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome.
Hey.
You're just in time, honestly. We were
Perfect.
I was just gonna sort of give a quick breakdown of kind of how Homebrew Con worked this year as a heads up for anybody that's never been before. Maybe we can talk about like some seminars that like we really liked or something. But so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning, there's a bunch of different seminars at different time slots. Usually like 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, as far as time slots go, and then a couple seminars during each of those time slots. And you can pick
9 in the morning.
Oh God, that was the worst part. Yeah, why did
Yeah,
why did they have to stop so early? I did not want to go to some of those 9 o'clock ones. I think I might have only made the Thursday 9 o'clock seminar,
I
but
feel like those would be sparsely attended.
Slacker.
they were surprisingly still full. Like I don't know, the people that go there go hard and must take a lot of Advil in the morning and just
Power through it.
yeah. I was gonna say man
power.
up, but I would say probably a good 5 to 10% of the attendees this year were women,
Oh, wow.
which was like super awesome. Yeah, yeah. Shayna asked me like how many women were there, and I'm like, they're like a ton. Like
Yeah,
they're
were.
like they're like participating like and everything, asking all these questions,
Running
like,
seminars or
running. Talking shit to Gordon Strong, like
being the director.
Julia Hertz is amazing. She has the most presence of anybody that I can think of right off the moment. Just I couldn't think of a better director, but it was really cool. It was really, really cool. But the seminars, so you don't have to attend these. It's just if you're going to spend the money and be there, you may as well like learn some stuff too. But a lot of these seminars are interactive, so people will be talking about beer, maybe a certain style, or maybe like blending sour beers, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But beer will be brought around you like the entire time that you're attending the seminar, and hopefully like timing up with slides that are going on the screen and stuff like that.
Starting at 9 a.m.
Starting at 9 a.m. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So these are included. Like they're not anything.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You have to.
No.
All right. Cool.
You're not paying for a single thing at the venue, unless you want to like go back.
You
to
could probably get by on snacks if that's like what
Yeah,
you wanna do.
you
I was
really
just going to
could.
ask about food, if food was included or anything like that, or if there's like,
No real meal.
that's aside from the point, Brian. Sorry, I'm detracting.
No, you're not detracting at all. Yeah, food is a big concern, and they had the venue had a little sort of concession stand thing open. I ate my fair share of chicken tenders and fries this convention, and there were black bean burgers and hot dogs galore. So there's enough at least to get by, enough to soak in all the free beer from the stands at least. But yeah, so tons and tons of stuff to learn. There are presentations on like English beers and blending sour beers and biotransformation, hop soluble compounds, how to brew sake, and a sati presentation, and
Interesting.
a few presentations on BJCP styles or taking the exams, and that's probably just a quarter of. I think there were 44 total seminars this past weekend. So, but after the seminars are done, there's usually something going on at night. So the first night they had was that the expo that happened after the seminars opened up the first night, or what happened on Thursday? I'm trying to remember now. Or was that the
The
kickoff
expo
party?
opened at like 11 each day.
The kickoff party, I think it was.
Oh yeah, it was the kickoff party. What happened at the kickoff party? I'm already losing memories of this past weekend.
Must have been a great kickoff
I know.
party.
No, yeah. So, you know what we did? So there was a kickoff party. We ended up going to Milk the Funk meetup. Is what we did on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Milk the Funk had a meetup party at Hop Farms? It's Hop Farms. Yeah.
Up farm.
So like that was super fun. I got soured out probably like halfway through. There were so many sour beers, but just a ton of amazing ones. It was an awesome get together, and the owner, I think, of Escarpment was there. Somebody from Escarpment was there, and collected all of the dregs from all of the bottles, along with gosh, my nameage is slipping tonight. Who's the owner of Hop Farms, or at least the brewmaster there? Head brewer? Malcolm. Yeah, he's a contributor to Brewlosophy. So he was there and helping collect dregs too. But I think they're going to take all of the dregs from all of these sour beers, and they're going to create a Milk the Funk meetup sour blend, basically. And they'll have that for sale sometime soon, whenever they do their next rollout of yeast cultures and stuff. But that'll be cool.
Or bootleg biology?
Was it bootleg? So that's what I thought it was bootleg in the past, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone from Escarpment that was there, but yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if it was like maybe they were doing it differently or just both things happened.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. I thought that I had got mine from bootleg in the past, but so that was fun on Thursday, and then obviously Hop Farms beer was awesome.
Yes.
Friday night was what they call club night. Brandon, you want to go over like what you would describe club night as?
It's kind of like a indoor air conditioned Michigan Homebrew Fest. For 3 hours, though. That's it. So,
not 3 days.
Yeah, just 3 hours. I mean, what it's got on MHF is air conditioning, and I guess lighting. That's about it, though. It's fun though. It was a lot of fun. There's tons of great beer. Tons of people, just new people to meet. AHA people. Some brew tubers. Some. Just homebrewers everywhere, obviously. And, maybe clubs, if you've seen lots of clubs that consistently win awards around the U.S. or NHC, you get to see some of those clubs in person there, not just Michigan clubs and stuff, which is kind of nice too. And then, yeah, that's at least there's costumes too. Like, so there were themes. There was like a speakeasy. There were some like Rangers or like DNR dressed up people. There were
interesting.
That was like the con part of the convention, maybe.
I think that Caddyshack one topped them all, though. The Caddyshack setup.
The boombox cart was pretty cool.
Boombox cart was cool. I missed the Caddyshack thing. What it?
They were all dressed up like Bill Murray. They had the little plastiline figures, like the little chipmunk or the little groundhog. Wires going to them. The explosive box.
I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, no, I didn't see that at all. Huh. Yeah, the saloon was sweet. That was cool. So there was this saloon or like speakeasy, and I think that's what you're speaking of. But yeah, they had a whole bunch of beers, and it was like speakeasy themed, and then they had kind of a little side door with a slit on top that they would open and shut, and they had another one down below that they would open to like take your beer, but you had to know like the phrase. You would kind of knock, and if you knew the phrase, you could get some special pours. I think they had a barrel aged rye IPA or something like that, and something
barley
else.
wine. I think
was it barley wine? Okay.
We heavy. That's what I think it was.
Okay.
Barrel aged wee heavy. Shit, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
What do you guys have any like memorable beers from club night, or like anybody that's in chat too? Like what'd you guys drink there? That was super awesome.
Ooh, you know what? That Flanders Red. I'm gonna say like it was a long educational session.
It was
going over that beer, but to be fair, when I tried that beer, which I'm pretty sure 90% sure was his, that was a great Flanders Red. That definitely stands out. Yeah, That's the first thing. But like, I just
So somebody, and the name escapes me. I'm gonna maybe try to Google this while I talk about it. But Homebrew Con 2022 Flanders. Someone did a presentation on brewing Flanders beer, and he's just won a ton of medals for his Flanders, and sort of went over how he became a home brewer and how he developed his recipe, and a lot of it was it sounds kind of like a lot of it was like by accident, or it just kind of came to be by just by accident.
Yeah,
but,
rebrewing constantly, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we had some of his beer on tap on Friday night, and it was excellent. Just the right amount of like acetic and tart and like funky, and yeah, I don't know. It was quite
Chris
good.
Meta, Dr. Chris Meta.
Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
Chris, if you ever listen to this, sorry for
From
forgetting
Trash.
you. I will
Three
never
Rivers
forget you again.
Alliance of Serious Homebrewers.
Did he medal in NHC this year? Did he submit that? I wonder. I don't even know.
That's
We'll
a
have to
good
look
question.
at
He
but-
should have.
that. That beer was delicious. There was the Cleveland Browns tent. They had a bunch of brown beer. That's like all they're serving is different types of brown beer. But they had this English dark mild that was absolutely awesome. I went back and drank that a couple times. Colin Burton from AABG ended up before Homebrew Con happened. He stumbled across like a sour beer in a keg that he was going to empty, and he pulled the PRV a little bit, and smell it basically, and try to figure out what it was before he was going to dump it. And it was, it smelled a little sour and tart and funky and delicious. So he poured a little bit of it, and he was like, basically forgot that it was even down in his basement or what it was. I guess he didn't like it, 2 years ago or whenever he had it. So he ended up bringing that and tapping that, and it was delicious for being one of those beers that you just kind of forget that you have. There was a ton of mead at the AABG tent too. I think that they were one of the only tents down there to have mead, and we got Mike. Hey, what's going on, Mike? What's going on, man?
Guys?
What's going on, Mike?
Hey,
We were just talking
all
about
right?
club night. What's that?
You got me all right?
We got you all right.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Looking good.
Thanks. Check out
Better,
this
better than I see. Oh yeah, that's a great shirt.
Charlie shirt, baby.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I saw those being given out. We got a couple smalls and had to give them away because
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we can't roll with
I
that.
know. I was waiting to get some sour looks when I went. I had a small, so I was just looking for the most petite people I could find, and it happened to be a woman that looked like she was there with her husband. I was like, hey, this looks like it'll fit you. Do you want this? I was like,
Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's just coming home and going on the wall or something. We're saying
Katie grabbed a medium, and I'm struggling to fit into it a little bit. It's a little snug after the weekend, so.
worth
you,
it.
you look fantastic. What are you drinking tonight? We missed you earlier on.
A little German pills.
Your German
Very
pills?
That's right. Yep.
Good
Actually, the German pills that we served blind tasters for philosophy at the Imperial booth on Thursday.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yep.
Is it well, I guess we can't ruin the experiment or anything like that, but it's one of the two then.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is.
So we have all the big medal winners on. We're just talking about Friday night, so might as well get into Saturday a little bit here. NHC baby. Mike, you were the first one to get called up. I think you won a medal this year, man.
Yeah.
What'd you win with?
I won with my dark mild for the British, I believe it's British brown and amber category. Yeah, I took a silver. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was super psyched.
You were super psyched.
Yeah.
you were bouncing around and shaking and shouting and swearing.
Yeah.
And
I think
it was a
this
grand
was
old time.
probably, I think this was my third time being in person at NHC at the award ceremony with the dog in the hunt, and it was like, it's just,
Yeah.
it was cool because it seems like it's been a long time coming,
Just to get to check that box now.
For sure. Yeah.
Now it's all about getting that gold in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which Joe B already ticked.
Yeah.
We talked about your golden strong, right? I can't remember if that was before the show started or after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and you're the next person to get called, I think. You didn't really even seem that nervous. Like, you were sitting next to me at the awards, and
I was.
you didn't show up. Yeah.
When I came out of that second place, I was like, I had a slight feeling. I was like, kind of weird feeling. I was like, this might be the moment. This might be it.
Do you guys in other since I wasn't there, I didn't submit at all this year, you guys get notifications saying like, hey, you've won something or anything like that beforehand? So you were just going in blind?
Yeah, completely blind. Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I was expecting my watch to give me like high heart rate notifications or something.
Are you working out?
It did that. It did that at MHF last year, and it did it at NHC the year before while just sitting on a couch. So I wasn't even in person that year. So yeah, I was expecting something. Maybe had enough beer to calm me down this year or something. We the club actually, and I don't know.
Yeah, hold on, don't bypass you. You
yeah.
So I took some medals this year too. My competition wasn't nearly as tough as you guys. I took a bronze in a category that had like 50 something entries, and 2 mead medals that had maybe 25 something entries. Joe's was the second highest entered at like 120 something. Would you say, Brandon?
Yeah, never feel bad for a win, no matter how many.
No, I'm not. No. And then Mike, you were in the 90s at least, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But I took a bronze in American Wild Ale, a bronze in traditional mead with a fireweed blossom sweet mead, and then a silver and spiced mead. And I think that's a mead I call How Many Licks. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with people soon. I'm trying not to pollute like the mead judging pool is like really small. So sometimes I feel bad talking about meads that I make that have very specific ingredients, because if a judge hears about it and they hear me talk about it, and then they go and they get a mead that has these very specific ingredients, they're like, oh, this is Brian's, and all of a sudden the bias kicks in. And I'm trying to avoid that. So, but yeah, and it just so happens that because of the points that I happen to earn, and at least somebody else in the club made it to a final table somewhere, because that's part of the requirement for this award. The Keepers of Craft took home this thing this year called the Gambrinus Award. So
fucking
awesome.
It's fucking huge and heavy. Yeah. If you guys go back and listen to the awards, there's a definite delay between when they say the name of our club and when we are all like, oh, holy shit, like that's us.
So that was the story I was talking about earlier. I don't know if anybody was looking at Jason.
Yep.
He looked like he saw a ghost, and then he was in total shock. Like his jaw was like just paused in time.
I wish there were cameras.
That was great.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
It's just great that you guys were there to accept. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, who would have thought?
Just that whole Michigan section there all of y'all and everyone that was over there kicked some ass. Like I didn't even do it yet, but I meant to go through here and try to count how many Michigan winners there were, because it seemed like there were a high percentage.
It was super high this year.
There's
there's another guy from Kalamazoo. His name's Eric. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head. Otts, thank you.
Yeah.
He's a KVCC sustainable brewing student. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he is working at Texas Corners Brewing. But he took a gold in... Oh, shoot. I just saw it earlier. What was it?
Stout, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was with a sweet stout. So whatever category that's in.
Okay.
So, oh, man. Yeah, Kalamazoo absolutely tore it up. What were you saying, Jordan? I'm sorry.
Michigan.
No, that's exactly where I was headed. Just to say that, because I just saw it like 20 minutes before I hopped on here on Facebook. Saw that somebody from the Kalamazoo brewing community or the brewing college, Kalamazoo Valley, had taken a gold. So it's like I just keep hearing of Michigan people, and I was again surprised to hear somebody else from Kalamazoo just taking another medal. I'm like,
we were all looking at each other like, "Do you know him? Do you know him?" Like,
yeah.
I think Jason added him on Facebook to try to talk to him, see if we can get him out to a keepers meeting. I made a comment on KVCC's post. Yeah, absolutely. I totally want to have him on an episode or something. So 13
Michiganders took a medal, and then Keepers of Craft took one so 14 total Michigan medals. If you want to,
out of 100 and something, 144, 122, something like that.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Jim Satin. He's part of the Ann Arbor Club. He took I think it was a silver for his old ale.
Yeah.
Satin.
He was telling me about it after the award ceremony. He said that he forgot about that beer, and it's been sitting in his basement for 11 years. which is amazing because like 2 or 3 years ago, he submitted another old ale that he had in his basement for like 5 years. So this guy's just hanging on to old ales.
Was that the one that used to be a double IPA?
I don't know. Are you serious? Oh, I thought you were joking for a second.
No,
just turned into that.
I want to say it was him maybe. Jason was telling me the story about somebody that he talked to at MHF about who had a double IPA that they bottled and forgot about and left in their basement for years and years and years and entered it into NHC and ended up taking. Did he take a gold with it? That first one?
Jim. I think he took I was looking right now. He took a silver, I believe.
Okay. The previous time, like a couple years ago.
Oh, the previous time. I think it was a gold. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I really wonder if it was that beer.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I don't know, man. It just goes to show, though.
Do they have to put that into the recipe when they submit it? To go on to the
let
it sit in your basement for 11 years.
all they ask is the grain bill and any special notes you want. Yeah.
You know what? 11 years.
Yeah. I know for a fact now that Jim had a gold that a few years ago, because everyone who gets a gold gets to be in Zymergy, right? They take your recipe and put it in Zymergy. And his recipe, he gave it all, blah, blah, blah. And at the very end, it said like age for like 5 or 6 years in your basement.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Like that's a requirement of this, perfected beer,
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I guess. So here's the thing. So that's sort of what an old ale is. And people are probably entering really fresh old ales. Mm-hmm. And probably not scoring as good. And this beer is literally aging and getting those oxidized characteristics and was bittered appropriately to begin with, most likely, so that after it, loses some of that hop aroma and bitterness and gains that oxidation and stuff, like all the flavors like meld together and become like the perfect thing. But it takes like a ton of time. But it's working.
Yeah.
I hope he has bottles. I hope he keeps entering that.
I hope he doesn't, unless he's like entering.
Hopefully he ran out.
Or as long as I'm not entering old ale, I guess it's fine.
Yeah. It brings a new meaning to old ale. Yeah, no joke. What where did Nick win this 2-tap jockey box from? 77. I don't remember that being up on the. Being up for grabs anywhere. That's sweet. I want a jockey box.
Was that at the Blickman thing on Saturday?
No, I think that was
Oh.
beforehand, but
Or the
it could have,
Blickman Beersmith deal? Oh, it was before.
I want to say it might have been more beer that was doing it, but honestly, yeah, shoot, I can't rely on my memory.
My name got drawn apparently for a Riptide, not a Riptide, a Hop Rocket, and I wasn't there on Saturday because I was at the mead share. So whatever.
Pump.
I don't really have a pump that I use anyway, and I've never really had the desire to use a Hop Rocket. I have I can just build one out of plastic or something probably if worse comes to worse, but I'm a little sad, because it's free shit. I love free shit, but oh, he won from Homebrew or More Beer. Okay. That's sweet. What else was More Beer giving away a ton of stuff this weekend? I know they usually have a pretty good booth.
They did some stuff.
No, I don't recall. Yeah.
I saw an Easy Dens get given away. That was a good
that's awesome.
prize.
Yeah, those are
Yeah. Yeah, I think those were two. I think maybe those two were from Club Night. Like they gave those ones away on Club Night or something. But I don't know. Whew.
Mike, since we only have you for a little bit tonight, you did 2 Brewlosophy things this weekend, right? You did an experiment and you did a Hop Chronicles, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You want to talk about those at all? I know you can't go into like a ton of detail about.
Yeah, I won't.
those,
I
but-
won't give away the variable and everything we tested or the hop that we tested. But on Thursday, we met up at the Imperial booth, my wife Katie and I, and had people do triangle tests, at the Imperial booth. Great turnout. It was actually perfect because I don't know if you remember on Thursday, as soon as the expo doors open at 11 a.m., it's a wave of just people just like blowing through, right? And it's awesome. I love it. But like at 2 that day, people were still like kind of in seminars and at lunch and stuff. So it was much more relaxed. We were able to talk to people, fans of the site and stuff. So that was a blast. And, never got too overcrowded because we just had like a little part of their booth that we were doing the triangle test at. But yeah, it went great. I brought 60 cups, and at the end, I was texting with Marshall, and he said that we had 57 people, hit submit on the survey. So
Nice.
Great turnout. Yeah, great turnout for that one. Yep. And then on Friday, we were at the Yakima Valley Hops booth. Same time, doing a Hop Chronicle. So. Another great turnout. The guys and gals there were super cool to hang out with, and it was a lot of fun just meeting people and talking to people. And I actually got to meet Malcolm Frazier, who is an old Brewlosophy contributor.
Yeah.
Never met him before, so that was cool. And
I didn't realize he was not part of it anymore. Okay.
Yeah, he's been doing his own thing for a while, or he has been a part of Brewlosophy for a while. I know he was at Fatheads for a long time, and he actually he opened up his new brewery. Was it Hop Farm?
Yeah, Hop Farm.
Remember?
Hop Farms.
Hop Farms. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They actually were serving a Grodzitsky, like in the social booth area, on the expo floor. That was just dynamite on one of the days. But so both of those articles for Brewlosophy are going to be posted in like 2 weeks. So July 4th is the Monday, and then what would be the 7th, I believe, is Thursday will be the Hop Chronicle that we did. So go check them out.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be sweet.
yeah.
We apparently the More Beer giveaway was on Club Night. Okay, yeah, I think that's when the Easy Dens got given away and some other stuff. I think the first person to get drawn for the Easy Dens was not present. And the guy goes,
sting.
oh yeah, it would be terrible. But the guy goes, do we? So they drew the next name, and I don't remember who was doing the giveaway, but they were like, do we give this guy like the Easy Dens instead? And everybody's like, no. And the guy's like, oh, you guys are harsh.
Yeah, that's. Oh man. I don't know what I would feel, how I'd feel in that instance. Like,
Betrayed.
like,
Your fellow brethren. Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
true colors coming out, man.
Yeah.
Human nature coming out.
I mean, it's a free easy done. It's just same thing with the canner, that like pro.
Oh my gosh, that thing was like a $4,000 canner. That
I was gonna say they raffled a canner. Like
it
a
was
home
not
canner?
just a canner. It was like
It was a commercial quality one. Supposedly.
yeah, it was like canner
Jesus.
plus. Yeah. It could do like
Was that the-
12s, 8s, 16s, 19.2s, 24s, 32s. Like
Wow.
Is that the more beer one? The cannular?
No.
No, it was a separate like a American made company.
Oh yeah,
Not
the
that a lot
All
of them
American.
are, but
Whatever it's called.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are sweet.
Oh
Just
my
a
God,
huge, beefy, like you could throw it and it would.
Hope you didn't fly there if you won that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
no joke. I think that they were going to pay for the shipping on it too.
Oh, well, there you go. That's
They gave away that, a labeler, and like 8 cases of cans, which was cool.
all for one ticket.
No,
I mean,
no.
obvious- oh, okay.
Yeah, separate tickets. But
Still, like,
yeah, I don't know. I'd take some. So the cans were screw top cans, like like big energy drinks come in, like rock stars and stuff like that. I think probably.
oh, okay.
I think yeah. Mike's grabbing one, so
Yep.
he'll have the better idea.
Yeah, I snagged a couple from the guy. He's like, I can't take all this shit home, so it's like,
Oh, sweet.
it's just
yeah.
this is an 8-ounce one, but
I'll say it's
Oh my God! You made that look so much bigger. It was a perspective thing. That's sweet. Okay.
interesting.
yeah, it's
I've-
kind of like a porter, like a growler, pretty much.
yeah, that's
It's
that's
probably
really
reusable a good
That's
amount
how
of
I'm
times.
gonna use them as.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Chris in chat's asking now that Homebrew Con is done, what's the next big event we're all looking forward to?
MHF,
Wow.
baby.
Yeah.
that
We're-
I'm gonna be at. I'm watching 2 other competitions that I've got stuff in, but other than that, beer event is absolutely going to be MHF.
Where you entered at?
Well, outside of Michigan Beer Cup, it's going to be Indiana State Fair and Michigan State Fair.
I'll see you there.
Oh man.
If you guys listening have not been to the Michigan Homebrew Festival before, MHF, look into it, or just like reach out to me or Michigan Brews directly, and I will hype you the fuck up for August. It is amazing. We kind of went over what club night looked like at NHC, and it's basically club night at NHC minus the air conditioning, but plus 3 days. So it's
Fantastic.
It's very chill. There's so much good beer. There's a lot more to do than just drink. There's going to be a ton of games happening this year that I can't go into that too much. A lot of the clubs have different themes, and so they'll have their own things going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there's other curriculars that you can do too. Like, don't they have a what do you call that, where you throw flat things at a chain net? Disc golf. Yeah, that's
Yes.
it. There's that. I think they have something like that there that you can do. So if by chance on the offhand you get tired of drinking with a bunch of people drinking awesome homebrew, you can go wander through the woods and throw discus.
There is, yeah.
There's other cool stuff, like there's a lot of, I don't know a lot, but there's cooking competitions, like
Yeah.
competition every year, which is great if you wake up early enough for it. Or there's the meat smoking.
Thanks, David.
The meat smoking competition, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Do you know all the rules that go into that, Mike?
I don't know. I'm 3 or 4 of our guys participated last year. One of them took the trophy home, actually, which was awesome. But,
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't really know what the rules and regulations are on that. So
One of the big ones is, as I understand it, is that all of the meat has to be started and cooked, like started and finished out at MHF. So you can't like pre-cook the meat, bring it out, and like season it and serve it. Like you
Yeah.
got to find a way to cook that meat out there, whether you are grilling it or making a fire pit or something.
It can be raw though. I've heard that it can be raw.
Yeah, I've heard somebody serves raw chicken.
Oh no!
No, I think that's a joke that somebody tosses out.
Okay.
We don't have any alligators judging the meat competition, so I don't think raw chicken's on the menu.
If you don't live in Michigan, come anyway. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to live in Michigan to come to the thing.
It's camping. If you like camping, there's places for trailers. If you want to, trailer it, like do it. Otherwise, you can rough it. I once saw a guy sleeping behind a kegerator, so that's
more than once, probably.
More than once.
I think if I remember right, that guy had like beer spilled on him like later on in the evening, and like he didn't wake up. Like, he was fine. It's just that's what happens. Out there
we were watching him. He moved every once in a while.
All right. Can I steer us back on
wherever you want to go, Brandon?
All right. Like Joe, what was your favorite NHC event, or heck, even if it wasn't at NHC itself or was afterwards, what was your favorite thing over the Wednesday through Saturday night?
Oh, just kind of meeting. I met two people I kind of hooked up with on Instagram and been talking to, and then went out with those. There's a couple, Beth and Mike, and they were just cool cats, and they're going to San Diego. They live in Long Beach, so kind of extra incentive to go out there next year and hang out with those guys. And I mean, hanging out with people, meeting people. Some of the seminars are really great, but yeah, meeting people you haven't seen face to face is kind of like the big bonus point for me.
Yeah, right on. How about you, Mike? Oh, I'm interrupting you, Brian. I'm taking over your show.
No, go. No, please. You're a better host than I am, honestly.
Do it.
Go for it, Mike.
Who he's thinking?
Oh, me?
Sure.
Oh shit! Sorry. Man. I mean, yeah. I think Joe said it. It's just the camaraderie that the people you get to see, once a year, and it's just a ton of fun. Just hanging out with those people. Like, great example, right? So Keepers and us in Motor City have hung out at MHF before, and it's cool, and it's fun. We have a good time. But like when we met up on Thursday, when I first came up to your car, right?
Yeah, we
hung out. Like, we fucking hung out all weekend. And it was And like, I know all you guys a hell of a lot better than I did before.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, now we get to do MHF, and it's going to be a blast. And we all had to, got to do the award ceremony and tore it up. All of us tore it up. I mean, that was just a ton of fun. It's just, I don't know. It's just the people. It is really.
It is.
Talking to people, talking to vendors. The vendors are great, and they answer any questions you have, and you get to geek out about this thing that I think from the outside, people who don't brew are like, okay, dude, like, chill out a little bit, but for us, it's like, I don't know, it's just like it's the best. It is the best, that's it, really. I don't know.
Yeah, very nice.
I like your vendor comment. Sometimes I don't know. I never really. So this is again my first Homebrew Con I've gone to. I've never really gone to a beer event that has had like a ton of vendors and stuff. And going around to these vendor tents, like, these people that sell these products are like just as geeked out about like brewing and stuff like that as you are. Like, they're not just in it for like the company and stuff like that. Like, they freaking love what they do. Like they love hops or making beer, or like, the equipment that they sell and making beer and hops, and they're not just there and don't know what they're talking about. They're not random volunteers off the street running a tent. They're like, for the most part, employees from this company that have this passion revolving around beer or home brewing or mead making or whatever the hell, and they really love talking about it, and that was really cool to experience.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on all that, but like, I do love when I find like the marketing guy who like I start asking the technical questions, and then like he doesn't really answer it, and that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of just like, okay, whatever. Kind of move on.
Sometimes you do just need warm bodies to pour beer.
Yeah,
that's
for
okay
sure.
too.
Yeah, no, it's you get everybody there. Yeah,
it's a free trip to Pittsburgh. So if you're the first one to raise your hand,
for sure.
Maybe, yeah,
for sure.
I would absolutely do that.
But yeah, I mean, those people are few and far. But it's just it's just fun.
Did you guys watch Mean Brews? Are you part of the competitive homebrewing Facebook group?
I'm not. I've heard about it though.
Matt Harold runs the channel and the group, and he was out there, and we got to meet him for a while, and he's taller than I expected. He's a tall dude, but that was a ton of fun meeting him. He runs a no cost. I don't know even what you want to call it. It's
Master Homebrewers.
Yeah, it's called the Master Homebrewers program, and him and a bunch of volunteers. They run this just for fun program where you can send in your score sheets for competitions that you enter and sort of like gain ranks in this Master Brewers program that basically just sort of shows like how you are in terms of a like competitive homebrewer. But this year it looks like they actually have a circuit going on or something. Brandon, is that right? And they're giving away a grainfather for the person that takes the most points in this circuit.
Yeah, I know his club's the Cane Island Ailers.
Yes.
And they have certain, like, I don't know enough about it to go into depth, so you'll have to try to get him on here, even though he's not in Michigan. I think you could maybe make an exception if he'll come on. But like, I know there's certain contests or competitions rather that are included in there that are, if whoever gets the most points from those combined competitions, especially, like, I think there's some sort of special award for. But yeah, that's about as much as I know, though. So I won't act like I know a lot about that one because I don't.
Yeah. We talked to him. We gave him a card. He wants to come on the show, and hopefully we'll have him on and we can talk about that.
And I'd like to point out, like, all the things we ambushed him outside the bathroom. I saw him I saw him going in as I was coming out the bathroom, and I was like, "Hey!" I saw him wandering around a few more times. I'm gonna wait out here for him to come out so I can at least say hi for a second.
He's like zipping up his pants, walking out. And Brandon's running up to him like, "Meh."
At least you waited till he came out of the bathroom.
Exactly. I think that was at least the least I could do.
Yeah, it was really cool. 77 Trans Am guy was in chat as part of the kind of brew tuber group. So again, really new to the whole community that is homebrewers that make YouTube and Facebook and Instagram content. So I need to sort of clean up on this and get myself a little bit involved. Is there like a Discord or something? Is there like a common place for all this to happen or whatever? But I don't know. We need to figure that out.
Yes.
But yeah. And Mike, I know that you said you were hanging out for as long as you could, so don't feel like you have to stay any longer than you need to or whatever. But you're more than welcome to stay and drink and hang out with us as long as you want.
Okay, see ya. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm. Peace, man.
Oh yeah, it's not a hard stop. I just, I do have some stuff just catching up. Getting back from the conference, and you all get all that stuff waiting for you when you come home. So
yeah, we were. I was trying to get Colin on tonight. And he was kind of all about it, but his kids missed him because he's been gone for 5 days. So he's like, I'm going to spend some family time tonight, and I was like, yeah, man, like.
Great dad misses kid's birthday too,
was that a thing? Oh no. I think
it was like Saturday or something.
All right, I guess you owe one after that maybe or something. So.
Yeah.
It's fine. They're young. Can't leave that much of an impression, right?
Make it up to them in later years after they're 21 and they can come out to Homebrew Con with you or something. Joe, I meant to ask you earlier, and I don't know, I might have gone around with this. I can't remember, but we were talking about seminars and stuff like that. Did you have a favorite seminar from the week that you attended or anything like that?
The Hop Creep one was pretty good with that Emily Wang.
Okay.
She knew what she was talking about, and I kind of wish I could pick her brain more. She is very knowledgeable on chemical enzymes and breakdowns and stuff like that. It's kind of mind-opening.
I missed that one. Were you at that one too, Mike? I saw you nodding your head, but
no, I'm very interested in that one also. I know that. I think that was like a 9 a.m. one, right? I had a hard time getting.
Those are the tough ones.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those were like foggy head and clammy hands kind of seminars.
Yeah, for sure.
Please make it through.
Are they serving beer in this one? Shit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's for the best sometimes. A little bit of hair of the dog or something.
Well, now at some point when it's online, I can just watch it and pause and
Yeah, be okay.
The ones that are serving beer, though, you can never recapture that. So
that's right.
You always maybe now that's a piece of advice going forward for Homebrew Con is go to the seminars that have beer as part of the seminar that you won't be able to experience online later or something. Brandon actually put this in our little private chat here. I'm just going to put it in the regular chat, the Master Brewers program link. Free to join if you want to pay. I believe that Matt et al. Special orders like pins that you can purchase to put on whatever. You can put them on a hat, or you can make your own like little like Boy Scout sash or something, Girl Scout sash. So he kind of bullied me into signing up for that. So I'm probably going to have to do that sometime this week. And I told him, man, like I print out and keep a record of every single score sheet that I've ever gotten since I really started taking competition seriously. So I'm probably only missing a couple. And I'm like, do you really want to go through all of these and like categorize them and like, and the dude's like, yes, he loves spreadsheets and data and stuff like that. If you've ever watched his Mean Brews YouTube channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. The dude loves data. And Mike, you said I asked you about him, and so he runs a channel called Mean Brews, and what Mean Brews means is mean is in like sort of average. So he goes around and finds as many award-winning recipes for a particular style as he can, and basically averages the recipes out and publishes them as like a YouTube video. And I mean, he's won quite a few awards with with his like, just like average whatever videos. I brewed the average pale ale. Actually submitted it to NHC. I'm curious what the sheet's going to look like for that, but I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. It was a great beer.
Dan's talked to me about it before. I just have not got onto his site. So, I mean, does it have like, okay, so a pale ale could have, Pilsner, two-row, Marisite. It could have any base.
Oh, yeah.
Almost any, adjunct or like, I mean, just about any, specialty malt. I mean, is it all of that stuff put into one? You'd have like 30 malts into one recipe at like 1% each, or is it like, you know what I'm asking?
I'm pretty sure like, yeah, and I don't know. Then that's a great question for Matt. So hopefully we get to have him on the show and ask him that, because I
need
to check out his website for sure.
He'll remove outliers and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, like if, say whatever recipe is, if 90% of them use Munich, then he's going to average, he's going to generally average what all they use and probably go somewhere near there. He'll make some, minor adjustments if something's just a one-off,
Okay. So a lot of it gets tossed out, I imagine.
But, since he is picking from recipes that won, they're usually not bad. Even the worst is going to be decent.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have like one asshole that somehow used like some special bean as American lager and one, like he's not probably adding that in or something like
0.5%.
Yeah.
2 ounces in a 20-gallon batch.
David, that's too smart a question for me. I don't even know what that means. I'm sorry, man.
I'm gonna go with arithmetic, but
Yeah.
that's still. And hi, Brian's mom.
God, my
Hi,
mom,
Connie.
like every episode lately. Hi, mom.
That's fantastic.
So I'll ship you like a medal or something so you can show it to your friends or something. I don't know. But Mike, you going to NHC or I'm sorry, Homebrew Con next year?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, that's the plan right now. I'm kind of bummed we skipped the Midwest, but looking forward to San Diego.
I think we pulled like an Uno reverse. Like it was supposed to be somewhere in California last year.
Yeah, San
And
Diego.
then it was Pittsburgh, and and so now it's back to San Diego. So I guess we're sort of like.
So did they just skip a year? Because all right, the first one was pushed was Nashville.
2020.
Was
Right?
yep.
So it was Baltimore, Minneapolis, Portland, Rhode Island, Nashville got pushed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville was online, and then San Diego was online, and then we're back to the East Coast in Pittsburgh. It should be back in the Midwest again.
Yeah. I think they just reversed course.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if maybe they worked out like a deal.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Gail has explained to me that you have contracts with the cities, and like it's 5 years in advance. So whoever they can get to, potentially host these things, then that's what they do. I think, I don't know.
No, I have no doubt. I'm not miffed about it or anything like that. Like I
for
totally
sure.
understand.
For sure. I would just love to drive somewhere again, instead of like having to fly out.
Yes.
Although flying is great because then you have to carry all this shit, or drive. So I don't know. I'm torn either way. I've never been to San Diego. Sounds great.
All the money, the whale's vagina.
That's right. Don't use that word with your mom listening.
She says worse to me. She's probably smoking weed right now. So, what with regards to NHC again? This is sort of a debate that I saw pop back up again after NHC ended. How do you guys feel about the old regional format versus the current all-in-one format? Like, do you have any preferences either way? I know it's sort of like
I'm torn on
divisive.
That.
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm torn also because as a judge, I like going to a regional place. I've judged in Indianapolis at regionals, and I've judged in Cleveland at regionals, and I like doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun. And I've also driven, my club's entries and other clubs' entries to those locations to,
save an ass ton of shipping.
Yeah, I mean, not just the shipping, but just give us a better kind of crack at it as far as, either bottles breaking or, sitting on containers in the July or not, whatever month it is, May, sun and, hot and, just whatever. And
yeah.
So I like that, but then I also like just doing it once and getting it over with. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It does require a lot of beer. So actually this year I shipped 8-ounce cans. So they were
cool.
They were accepting anything from 5 ounces to I think 16 ounces, as long as you shipped at least 6 of them, if it makes it through, each round. So, I just used 8-ounce cans and they worked fantastic for that because, you're opening a new can at every round that you go. There's less beer, it's less weight, it's less shipping costs. That seemed to work out pretty well. So, yeah.
Joe, Brandon, any thoughts?
I'm theorizing here since the first time I sent something off was when they did regional and it got turned into hand sanitizer. I'm going to reiterate that again. But I like the way that sounds from like my perspective. I like how it sounds better. It seems like it might be slightly less wasteful on beer. That's one thing that would be great. And as Mike said, it sounds like there's at least a couple. There was one judge who took the microphone at one of the events there, and voiced his opinion towards that, if I remember right too. So yeah, that was agreeing with liking the regional setup. But so I like how that sounds better from my outside point of view looking in there, I guess. Yeah.
Any thoughts one way or another, Joe?
I mean, the regional is good because it kind of gives you a shot to either improve or kind of decide what you're going to do in the future, whereas opposed to that one, you're just like stuck. Like you got to like set a schedule, whatever that beer is, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you like get like a bronze and a regional, you move on, you can improve that beer and make it even better.
And I've heard, both fours and cons for that approach. Like people are sort of like, well, the beer that's submitted should be the beer that's judged all the way through, like not allowing for rebrews and stuff like that. And I sort of understand that, but at the same time, if you have the consistency and the skill to rebrew a beer and even improve it a little bit within that like short amount of time, like maybe you earn it a little bit. I don't know. The amount of beer though at the after party after the NHC awards was like kind of disgusting this year. There was I wanted to take pictures and I just totally forgot, but like there were thousands of bottles, literally, and we're not even like exaggerating, put out on ice for people to either sort through to try to find their own beers or to just crack open and drink. And it's just, there's always going to be waste at a homebrew competition. That's just how it goes. Not everything's going to make it to a best of show round. So there's always going to be bottles, that just get dumped or go home or whatever. But go ahead, Mike.
The other consideration that I just kind of thought about as we were talking through this like whole regional one location deal is so it's at so for regionals, right? The way it works is you ship to your region, whatever's closest, wherever you get accepted to, and then a few months later, if you're lucky enough to make it to finals, you have to ship your beer to where the conference is being held because that's where the final round is being judged, right?
Yep.
So in this case, for next year, right, say you were to ship your first round to Cleveland or Indiana or wherever it was, and you make it through, now final round is going you have to ship it from Michigan to San Diego, or if you live on the East Coast from, Georgia, wherever, New York to San Diego. I mean, in more of the hot sun, like the summer,
Yep.
It could be way more expensive. I mean, that could be way more risky where you're shipping everything at one centralized location, assuming they would still do it this way. You ship it to the AHA, and then they're going to truck the beer from the AHA facilities in Colorado out to San Diego, so it's like less worry. So
it is. I'm super conflicted either way.
Yeah.
It's a regional approach. So this is kind of like a shitty take, but like a regional approach is cheaper for the people that will not be making it to nationals and is more expensive for the people that do. And
this is also not a popular take, but if you're not trying to get a medal, you shouldn't be submitting to nationals.
I agree. Yeah, it's not a popular take, but I'm totally.
I mean, it's not. You can get feedback, but it's not a competition for like really good constructive feedback. This competition's held for people to win things.
But I will say that in previous years, my feedback when it was regional was far better than when they
sure. For sure. I mean, you had to
approach. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. You got to write a score sheet for sure. And you get, completely agree that the feedback is better, but
the participation was actually better too. I went back and looked in 2019, there were somewhere in the order of, I think, it was like 8,000 or 9,000 total participants, and this year there were around what, like 2,200, and who knows. There's too many variables to say that that's just because of the new format. It's obviously more expensive per entry, and the shipping is really expensive to ship 6 bottles per entry. The economy's down. Like, people want to save money, you know. That can totally be a thing too. But I wonder, you know, maybe we organize one more year of regionals and see what happens to the participation. Maybe promise those you know, more normalized BJCP score sheets and see what happens. I am not an AHA member, and I would never want to speak for the AHA and say, like, do this, because it's so much fucking work. I cannot even imagine what goes into organizing the National Homebrew Competition.
Whoa, you're a member of the AHA.
Okay, on the board. It sounds like hell. I do aspire to one day be on the board of the AHA. I'm trying to get myself involved in bigger and better things, so that I actually have like a resume that makes me sound more important than just being like, yeah, I fucking talk about beer on a homebrew show, and I'm gonna, you know, be the information officer for my homebrew club. But I would like to influence that someday. I'm really passionate about this hobby and stuff like that, and I don't know, I would at least like to see what happens once. There's a lot of people speaking out for. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. I think if they do another year of, you know, this, I don't think they're probably ever going to go back. You know, it has to be so much easier for the AHA to say, send everything to us here. We're going to put it in our warehouse, and we're going to label it all, and everything's going to be ready in time to get it on a truck, and we're just going to take it and do it all at once, instead of, like, you know, you're accepting, you know, boxes at the conference, trying to get them labeled, trying to get them, you know, that just sounds like a nightmare.
But that's only partially because they only had maybe 22,000 or 2,200 entries this year. I wonder what this would look like if they had 9,500 entries this year and only 85 judges.
If you had 9,500 entries or entries or entrants?
Entries.
Entries, then I would assume that it would be nearly impossible to do it all at the conference in 3 days. Because from what I understand, there was some struggles getting the entries there judged in time for, you know, the awards ceremony on Saturday. I mean, it was done, but you know, I know a few people who were asked, can you come and actually judge, you know, for the comp, you know?
So they've got to be setting some
4 times the amount of entries you're
the caps are sort of on a national level now, instead of like a more regional level, understanding that only the top 3 from each region are going to nationals. So I guess that sort of makes sense too. And again, that could be a constraint why there's a lesser amount of entries this year too, versus, you know, say like something like 2019. I'm not super complaining, because obviously I won a medal, Joe, you won a medal, Mike, you won a medal this year. And it's tough. It's got to be tough to do when there was like, you know, in 2019, it was not uncommon for there to be 300 entries per category. And
wow.
Yeah. So part of it's like, oh, does the medal mean less now, you know, than it did 3 years ago? No,
not to me.
I don't think so either.
Win's a win. Win's a win.
A win is a win. But part of me wants the homebrew community to grow from competitions, and seeing it limited maybe a little bit on the national scale is potentially a little, like, I don't know, sad or something like that. Like, and I guess maybe that's just another reason to enter your local competitions. Maybe that's something the BJCP needs to pick up and be like, hey, we need to really get our BJCP guys excited. We need to get more judges out there so we can have more local competitions, so we can give better feedback, so we can get people excited about the hobby so that they can make better beer. and have this thing spiral upward, in a really good way. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's some different takes on this.
Well, yeah, the other thing too is, remember, they extended the registration submission period for weeks and weeks.
Yeah,
They thought they were going to get more.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
there should actually have been more entries to the competition. It sounds like.
And Greg is actually asking the same thing. Don't the regions have a hard limit? Was there a limit for this format? And I think in the past the regionals did have. So you could request when you first submitted your request to the NHC for entries or whatever, you select how many that you wanted to commit to, and you say go. And however many you commit to, though, if they say that they're going to allow that many, you have to pay regardless. Is how it was at the time. And so they sort of gather interest from everybody around the country, and then they shoot these emails back out and say, okay, you can enter 7 or whatever. And you've already committed to 7, so you have to pay a 7 whether you send a 7 or not. And then you send in your regionals, and the top 3 for each category go on to nationals, and then NHC happens. So with this format, I think that they just straight up say this year maybe that there were going to be a limit of 7. I don't really think that they gauged interest first.
Yeah,
I think you could pick 7 and you could just go with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's how it worked this year.
You don't forget there was at least one person from South Korea and someone from Brazil
True.
who won some
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Gold at least, right? I know one of them. Actually, two.
Katharina
They're
Sauer.
both gold. Yeah. The guy from Brazil took a Katharina Sauer gold, which is fucking awesome. I want to try that beer. I want to try like a legit, authentic Katharina Sauer. Like, I want to know what fruit was in that beer. We'll get to know, I guess, because his recipe is going to be published.
The person I thought I had remembered this. The person from South Korea placed first in front of me in the category that I won.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
sorry
it
to
is
say
cool.
gold.
But yeah, it's like, I think that's
What competition was this?
NHC.
nationals.
That was this
Yeah.
one. That is
Yeah,
from North Korea.
it was
South.
it was like a brown ale,
South Korea,
right?
whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it was North Korea.
Yeah, South. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Hard
Yeah,
time
I'm
getting
on
shit
there.
out of there.
Yeah.
right there.
Launch it over on a missile is what happened.
But yeah, they brewed an English style beer and killed it, just like tore it up.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry you got beat because you're here on the show, but like,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
it's cool. Yeah.
Yes, Minju Lee from South Korea with a 13C.
That's
super
not the
cool.
first time that somebody from Korea has won, so that might be the same guy that has won multiple times.
It could be. If you
wonder if it
go to
is.
the NHC website, the guy that has his hands up, that's on the banner. I believe that's the guy from South Korea a couple years ago
Meal
that
stouts. Okay.
took gold, and I don't remember what category it was.
That dude was sitting right in front of us
English
at the
book,
awards
right.
ceremony, and he fucking leaped out of his chair. It was awesome. It was like, yeah, he was with his buddy. It was like he was, I don't know. He must have jumped
Absolutely.
12 feet in the air.
Oh,
Worth it.
absolutely.
Ran up there. It was awesome. Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, no
He was
doubt.
psyched.
So last year was my first NHC medal, and I was sitting in Jason's basement, and we were all watching it, and I took silver in American Wild Ale last year, and so my name got called, and I stood up so fast, like I spilled my beer like all over his like basement and on myself and on his couch and shit. Like I understand the bouncing around and shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. It was a good year. It was a fun time out there. I can't wait to go to San Diego. Hopefully, I get to go out there.
Is that
Yeah,
next
great.
year?
It is next year.
San
It
You
was
should
Diego.
go to
great
San
having
Diego, Jordan.
It was
All
great
right.
having
I was
that
just
section
thinking. I
open.
was like, I'd like to. Like this year's been been getting back into my brewing steps after having a kid. It's been 2 years, but so now I'm slacking, but getting back into it, starting to get back into competitions, submitting to more competitions this year. As I had mentioned earlier, so NHC next year, hopefully that's what I'm shooting for. I'll definitely be submitting. I want to go out there. I love Cali, and I've never been to San Diego, so it's kind of an excuse.
Do you guys have like ideas right now of what you want to submit to NHC next year, or is it going to kind of be
the same thing? My best beers.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Same thing.
So what are you comfortable saying besides the bitter? It was bitter, right?
Mild.
Mild. Okay. What else you entered?
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, mild, Kolsch, German Pils. I submitted a Schwartz beer that had done pretty well in some recent competitions. So I had it. I needed something to submit, so I threw that one in there too. That's not a normal one for me, but yeah, probably that. Or meads, because apparently only 8 people submit to it. So I'm gonna get on my
shit.
Right.
Irish Stout this year was really low. Didn't it only have something like 20 something entries? I think too.
Oh, that's
shit. Of them that were very small.
Yeah,
that's
Irish Stout was super low.
I've won a gold for an Irish Stout before.
Yeah. Jordan has an amazing Irish Stout. He's taking awards for. So
yeah,
there you go, Jordan. Think about that for next year.
Yeah, people are probably paying attention to it, so it's probably going to have like 70 next year.
That is for sure a tactic, because my buddy Dan and I we would do that, and every year that category that we submitted to was like the next, like and then it was down, and then it's like a fucking wave.
You're almost better like taking that off of the dartboard and just throwing a dart at something else and then brewing that.
For sure.
I wonder though if that's what happened this year, because American IPA and hazy IPA, I don't think they were even in the top 3. And those are usually pretty high.
Those are usually really high.
Am I wrong, Brandon?
I don't know. Let's see. No, it was American IPA was number 3.
Okay.
Still though, I remember like at MHF a couple years ago, like IPA, like the IPA category had like twice the amount of entries as like the next entry down the list.
Pilsner number 1.
That's insane.
Pilsner,
honestly.
Strong Belgian ale number 2.
So here's brew one of those two, because people are going to see those numbers and not want to brew them. So
you know what? You're playing the game now.
Yeah. I was already thinking. I'm getting into Pilsners. I've got a Vienna lager that I'm super happy with, and that's going into competitions. And I'm like thinking I'm liking this lager game, so I'm going to keep going down that route. And meads, Brian's gotten me into meads. I've got a bunch of honey sitting down here, and I really, really want to start getting into that a bit more too.
Can I ask you a technical question on meads?
Yeah, go for it.
This is like probably the dumbest question you've ever heard, but I have a bucket of honey. Okay.
Yeah.
How do I get the honey out of the bucket without creating like a giant mess of just pouring it? Do you just pour it?
Is it like all liquid stills or crystallized or?
No, it's not crystallized.
So here's what you do: is you get a second bucket,
okay,
and you buy something called is it called a honey lock? It's called a honey.
Oh, I know.
What if I have to do this tomorrow? What if I have to do this?
Then you pour and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. Okay. I didn't know if there was some like secret trick, like you ladle it out, or like what the best way.
You can if you want. So what I do is I have a bunch of buckets, and I drill them out, and I install this thing called like a honey. Fuck, why can't I remember the name of it now? Anyway, it's sort of like a special spigot for honey, but instead of you turning like a thing 90 degrees. Mm-hmm. You lift like a disc all the way up, so honey can just kind of like pour out, and you can just kind of flip the disc back down, and it seals, and you twist a butterfly screw or whatever the hell it's called, and
honey gate.
Honey gate. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so when you buy a new bucket of honey, I just dump the new bucket into a honey gated bucket, and then drill out the old bucket, and so. eventually you get to have enough buckets where you have everything in like a Honeygate bucket. But if you don't have that option, then yeah, just pour. And you
Throw
won't lose
your
that much.
fermenter on a scale. That's what I did.
Is that what you're
Was
asking, Mike? Is how to measure the honey? Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, I kind of need to know how to measure it. Yeah, the best way would be on a scale.
do you have a grain
have-
scale? Yeah.
Yeah, that I was gonna say grain scale, something large that you can set your fermenter on, and that's all I do. I don't have that same. I've got one 5-gallon bucket of honey that I have. Otherwise, everything was all my honey. All the meads that I've done before have been prepackaged and 5 pounds, whatever. I just opened up the bucket and just slow poured it and watched the thing tick up until I was at the weight that I needed to be at, and then wiped it off.
And that's it.
Yep.
And that was it. Yeah.
Just making sure there was like not some magic thing, because there's always some magic thing you can't.
like a honey thief that's just like
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I do have a trick for pouring though.
yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There ain't a trick.
Yeah, a trick. So get a keg and put it right next to the bucket that you're going to be pouring into.
Mm-hmm.
So take the bucket of honey and prop it up on the keg and pour it, so you don't have to hold the weight of the 60-pound bucket of honey the entire time.
Table.
Yeah, or a table or something,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
No,
So-
Brian, that's exactly what I did. I
use a
used the
keg?
Yeah, I did.
It works
That's
perfect.
what I have around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing until I had like my had my shit in the fermenter, and I'm like, I need to get honey in here. Like, what do I have? This is heavy as fuck. I'm like,
Yep.
keg, like that's about the right height, and I can just prop the keg up against my leg and just like
Yep.
angle it down.
Keg works perfect. Yep.
Okay.
And then a
Alright.
grain scale, or I have an extra Play-Doh, not Play-Doh keg scale. Yeah, sitting around my basement that I use for this and that. So I'll stick the bucket on top of that and just kind of look at the weight on my phone as I pour it. So any sort of scale helps.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Should I put water in the fermenter first? Does that make a difference or not really? I'm just thinking.
Not really.
Okay. Because you just
Yeah.
gonna mix it all at the bottom anyway.
Do you have a wine whip?
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's all pretty much gonna go together. What I would say though is that check it. You'll probably want to you don't have to whip it every day to kind of like get CO2 out of solution.
Yeah.
But if you do, and you'll probably want to sort of maybe like do that anyway to mix nutrient back into solution if you're doing like a staggered nutrient addition schedule. But scrape the bottom of the bucket maybe a little bit after like each day for the first couple days, because not all of the honey always mixes into solution after that first like mixing.
Okay.
And I've had meads before where honey just sits at the bottom and the yeast doesn't really get to it, just like
Right.
the osmotic pressure
Yep.
is too much for the yeast to just kind of get in there and do things. So it sits there and I end up with a drier mead than I anticipated, and I rack it and there's just like a layer of honey at the bottom of my fermenter. It's like, fuck, like, yeah. So
That's
you can
a-
even take like a sanitized spoon or mash
Yeah,
paddle
yeah.
and dig that up and kind of swirl it around or something. But
Okay.
yeah,
Good tips. Good tips.
anytime in the first 7 days you want to fuck with like the mead and stir stuff up or add more oxygen or whatever, like it's probably not a big deal.
Right.
As long as it's not like a hydromel or something.
Why? I was thinking about doing a
Low
hydromel.
ABV.
I love that little tidbit at the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hydromel will probably be done in like 5 days.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Yep. Because you're shooting for like 6.5% or something
Yeah.
like that, probably.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. You just mean, quit
Yep.
messing with it maybe after like 3 days or 4 days.
probably 2.
Yeah,
2
you,
days.
you don't need to do it.
So what about like staggered nutrients for
Front load.
hydromel?
Yep.
Dump it all in the front. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And do you follow Doing the Most on YouTube at all?
No.
So look him up. He's a smart guy. He actually just put out a nutrient video sometime in the last week. His recommendation for front-loading nutrients was actually probably like 80% of what you would get or what you would normally require for a standard mead if you're doing a hydromel. I don't recall if he stated why. I've never done that. So if you're using a nutrient calculator online, anywhere between like 80 and 100% is probably fine. But yeah, just throw it all in up front. It'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the Tanza calculator, and it was already so small, like 7 grams for the entire batch.
Throw it all in.
Down there.
Yep. Okay. I would still recommend doing like a Go Firm starter. Go Firm's fucking amazing, and I will never make a mead without it. Not that I have any reason why. It's just how I started, and I've always thought that it's done good, and so I continue on that way. So
you're winning medals, so
sure, yeah.
Do you have opinions of like liquefying your Go Firm or Fermate O or K before you add it to the fermenter, or can you just add it dry?
I add it dry.
Okay.
So there is a caveat there. It depends on what you're making. If you're making a really heavily like fruited mead and there's like a ton of stuff in solution, like you have 30 pounds of fruit in this mead or something already, you can dump it in dry and mix that stuff around and kind of punch it around and whatever, and it's going to be fine. But if you're doing a traditional and you dump it in and you're trying to mix it around with like a wine whip or something, oh my God, I've had some really awful, terrible, overflows of like foam and shit from.
I always put my fermenters in totes now. I've had too many times where it overflows and just goes all over the floor.
Yeah. I would say if you're doing a traditional, maybe try to draw off some, mix it in, and dump it back in.
Okay. That's a good idea, yeah.
But if you're doing like a heavily fruited mead or something like that, or if you have a ton of headspace and you're really comfortable, then it's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate all the tips. This is very helpful.
Dude.
Questions I should have been asking at NHC but neglected to.
No, it's fine.
No,
I'm still a beginner myself, honestly. I've really only been doing this a couple of years. So.
Oh yeah, I just mean like not only you, but like I had like these award, you're of course
Matthew Mead,
like fucking that, and like the who's who, Annie was there.
Gail was there. Annie was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Questions.
Amy,
of course. Yeah.
So no, I totally get it. That's my take. That's my approach.
Okay.
There's many approaches, but no, I think it's
very helpful. Not to derail this into a mead conversation.
No, it's fine.
That's what this show's about. We have a topic, and then we just eventually don't stick to it.
There is, and honestly, we've hit most of the Homebrew Con and NHC shit. So, I mean, you guys got anything else you want to like hit on?
Yeah, that hat you got there, Necromancer Brewing. We went there after the award ceremony. That place is the shit. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, go to Necromancer. It is awesome.
They gave us a tour of like their back facilities. The beer was awesome. Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
Oh, so it's a bone who you want to bone hat. So fucking Pride Month. Got Shayna a nice shirt. They had these in tank tops. They didn't have them in shirts. I wanted to get Shayna.
That was kind of. I was hoping there was one of those too. I'm also going to throw out Condado Tacos. There's more than one location because we passed another one on the way to Hop Farm, but like across the street from the Westin or the convention center there. Condado Tacos.
They were killer. Those tacos were killer.
We ate the shit out of that. All right. Joe, I'm sorry, man. Like I feel like I've been neglecting you all night.
No, you're good. You're good.
Everything good.
I learned some stuff about meats. I'm cool.
Okay. Your cat good? She's snoozing.
Looks very content.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, gents, anything else, or are we good for the night, or?
Good, man.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I wish I was there. That was it.
Next year, Jordan. Next year,
Yeah.
and anybody in chat that's still left around, come to one.
Come
Come
join
to
us.
MHF first.
Yes.
That's the most important one. But
Give you
please.
a pre-taste.
yeah. Please come to NHC too. Hopefully, we'll have at least a few of us from Michigan Brewers there next year.
Mm.
And yeah. Next
I'll
week
see.
we will not be doing an episode. It is I think it's the 4th of July.
It is.
Monday,
It's the
right?
4th. Yeah.
So we're gonna be, I don't know, setting things on fire or whatever, but
With beer.
with beer, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe liquor. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well,
there was a distilling
whatever.
seminar at NHC this year, I believe. So
Oh,
Essential oils.
Yeah,
not that
exactly.
it's legal, but yeah, you know, it's
I need.
hypothetical. I think we did a hypothetical distilling of homebrew
We did.
show some months ago. But yeah.
Yes.
That was the one. That
hypothetically.
was the one episode we've had the most interaction with Larry Bell on.
Yeah, that was
You
super
actually
weird. Yeah.
did some back
Forgot
and
about
forth
that.
with us a little bit. That was funny. That was interesting.
All right, but Mike, Joe, Brandon, thank you all for being on tonight. Go check out the Brewlosophy articles that are going to be coming out in the next couple weeks. Come out to MHF. We'll see you at NHC. Enter the Michigan Homebrew competition, Michigan State Fair, Michigan Beer Cup. I don't know. Brew your best beer. Join us. And I don't know. We'll catch y'all later. Thank you so much all for joining us tonight. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See y'all at MHF.
MHF. Woo! And Mike, Joe, Brandon, feel free to stick around afterwards if you want. All right. See you guys.
Ooh.